Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel, doing my first race of Week 7, Season 1, 2022. It is a ARCA race here at Homestead-Miami Speedway, and I'm sure you have been inundated with everybody else running their ARCA races early in the week and getting the videos posted. Yeah, just kind of the way it's all fallen, I guess, for everybody. But hopefully I can give you something that's enjoyable. Not sure how much you'll be able to learn out of it compared to me, or compared to everybody else, but I'm certainly going to try my best. Going out for qualifying, trying to get as best of a run as I can down the front stretch off of turn 4. On a great start, so hopefully can salvage this lap and see what I can do for lap 2. Gonna commit to the bottom for qualifying and the race as well. Seems to be where I'm finding the most speed myself, and certainly in the race it's a lot better on tire saving. Somehow don't get a 0x out of smacking the wall there, so the lap still will be valid, and just gotta hope that I can recover the second lap because I overdrive turn 3, push all the way up to turn 4, slide around. Gonna be an absolutely terrible lap, not gonna be worth very much. 73 is not very good. Right now 5th, but it's a pretty weak strength of field overall, so don't put much stock in that. And gonna lose it off of 2. Yep, there we go. So we're gonna be running that 73, and unfortunately gonna not have a 0x for the whole session. Just gonna have to do the best I can to 0x the race to try to keep the safety rating going in the right direction. And in qualifying, since unfortunately not gonna be able to get out there get another lap in, just overdrove it, was trying to pick up all I can, so ran the steering ratio at 10 to 1, minus 14 on the offset for my own personal preference, brake bias all the way back, and run the same thing on the brake bias and the steering offset, and bumping it up to 16 to 1 for the race. So only 14 cars out of the 19 in the session turn timed. I don't know if I would have gotten to the 1, quite honestly. I think probably could have gotten maybe up to 3rd. That second lap, I mean, the potential was there obviously to qualify 2nd, but you know, I don't think I really had the potential to run all that much faster. So probably would have bumped us up a spot or 2, so not a substantial difference. But yeah, car number 8 out of 19, basically right in the middle. But it feels like it's a pretty weak strength of field overall. You can see most of the guys are Division 3s, Division 4s. We even got a Division 6 in there. So pretty weak strength of field overall. Just going to try to get a good run in. I know it's not the quality of guys that you might see from Nick Neben, Colton Sendel, or Gavin or anybody, but I'm just going to try to make the most of it, do what I can. Big thing, I tried to get 1 or 2 of these out and just struggled badly, and a big thing for me is going to be not losing it off of the corners. I feel like I've done a decent job of saving tires running on the bottom and still trying to maintain somewhat of a competitive pace for me. Obviously, compared to the quickest guys, it's not quick at all. But yeah, just not getting on the throttle too hard, coming out of the corners too quickly, or getting on it with too much wheel still inputted. Coming out of the corners is going to be the big key to keeping myself from not spinning. If I keep myself from not spinning, probably got a good shot to finish in the top 5. And depending on how wrecks may fall or how tire saving may go, maybe you can even pick up a spot or 2 from this 5th starting spot. So that's going to be the biggest thing. If I can get away with not doing that, then I mean, even if we fall back, I'll feel pretty good about the result. But I think that should give me a pretty good shot to maintain or move up and try to get something out of this. So yeah, it's gonna hopefully be a good race. It's a track that I enjoy. I've run it on a limited basis, ran it one time in a league a couple months ago, and it was definitely a lot of fun. The setup can be very tricky, like I said, coming off the corners, but it is definitely a enjoyable race. You can technically use the outside. You'll see guys kind of going all over the place. The outside is far harder on the tires, and for me, unless I really need to try to find something to differentiate myself to get by somebody, I don't see myself really touching the outside at all. It's only going to be reserved for trying to pick a pass off, or you know, a variation at the end of the run from somebody's line, trying to gain time on them and see what I can do. Pretty much going to be glued to the bottom if I can, trying to get myself as close to that white line as I can through the corners, and then you know, easing it off of the corners and either bringing it all the way out to the wall if we're clear, or you know, a lane and a half off from the wall. Certainly the outside gets a great run, but it is much harder on the right side tires, and if you stick up there for too long, you can easily start falling back to people. So gonna be getting ready to go here shortly. Pace car will be pulling off. 35 laps, pretty standard amount for a 1.5 miles for the ARCA series. So gonna be using brakes most of the time. I got the brake bias all the way back, and gonna be progressively moving it back as we go. Leader is off. Trying to work my way up through the gears. Just gonna try to maintain inside line. You can see the 4 was on his way down, so just gonna let him in. I wasn't ever there to be able to try to take it away from him, so just gonna be easing it through, and if I lose a spot on the outside and fall back, that's okay. It's all about just getting going, getting temps and pressures built up in the car for the first few laps. Try to make it a little bit more stable, as well as just getting into tire saving mode already. So you can see the 1's committing to the outside already. 10's able to get by me on the outside, that's fine. 9's gonna get a massive run down the front stretch. He kind of checks up. I expected him to look low, so I think he might be committing to the high side himself. So when you've got that off the start, or really at any point during the race, you've got to watch and see those runs those guys are going to be catching, so they don't run into you or you don't catch them or anything. So 9's definitely committing to that high side, so unless he knows something that I don't know about running that high side, he's going to definitely burn tires as the run goes on. So losing ground to the 10 and the top 5, but quite honestly, depending on how hard they're pushing it, might be able to gain some of that back as the run goes on. So just have to do the best I can to save tires and keep the car underneath me, and not to have too many problems. And we get turned by the 9. That was my fault for cutting up into him. Certainly what I told you about, but it sucks that I get turned, so just cannot catch a break. So, and spin it around trying to get going. So we are going all the way to the back. It's not going to be a good finish. Just going to try to do the best I can to stay on the lead lap now, see if I can finish all 35. Nothing you can do there. I mean, my fault for sliding up in front of him. However, knew that was the line I had been running. He wasn't exactly clear, and he just didn't choose to go low or lift at all. He just drove straight into me. So take a look at it afterwards, see if it really was just all on him or if it was my fault too. But certainly very frustrating. Getting a couple spots back, that guys that have damage, but unfortunately we're going to be in a world of hurt and likely going to be going a lap down at some point. That's going to be my goal for the rest of the race, is honestly just to try to keep the leader behind me if I can. I'm not going to block him if he gets to me, but just going to see if I can have the pace. He's 15.7, 15.6 at the line behind, so just going to see if I can maintain pace. I'm guessing my car is damaged enough that I'm going to be giving up some time to the leader, even without, you know, counting for how much faster the leader is probably than me. But just going to do what I can to try to keep it going, try to get you guys some laps to see, and see if anybody else has problems that I can get by, and make sure that I don't have problems personally. See, maintaining about an even gap with the leader, so that makes me happy right now, but certainly going to be frustrating if I was able to keep pace with the leader and end up finishing all the way in the back because of that. It's just hard. I feel like it's kind of the same thing I saw in the next video, that guys just don't seem to have any patience anymore or any level of respect. Just kind of, it's gotten worse, I feel like, in the last few weeks, so I overshoot 3 and 4 there. Probably am overdriving the car a little bit. You can see I pull away from the leader a little bit, but probably, again, just overdriving the car, so need to back it down a little bit, make sure I get to the bottom, not overshoot corners, and try to be a little bit kinder on the tires. Not going to look to pay the 9 back. He was the one that sent me around, but no reason for retaliation. That'll always get protested. He'll always be found at fault, and honestly, it's not worth my time if I'm able to get to him. It's just better to get by him and move on with the race. That's if we can even get to him. Although my guess is with him continuing to run the high side, we will definitely be getting to him before the end of the run. So try to do my best to run as consistent a laps as I can, and try to ease the car into the corners and take care of the right sides. That spin obviously did not help them, but certainly going to do all I can to minimize the damage to them.
That was at 34.34.
See, the 9 goes on the inside of the 17. 17 dives all the way down the bottom. He loses it. Got to watch for him coming up the track. Hopefully going to be able to clear him out of turn 2. Am able to do that. So that's one potential crisis averted. That was not for a position. The 17 was a lap down. Almost get a little too sideways there off the corner, able to feel it and wait to get on the throttle. I get into the wall off the corner. It's going to hurt my run down the front stretch and into turn 1, but hopefully not too much damage out of it. Just push the car up the track a little too much. I was trying to keep the rear end from stepping out, and in the process of that, sent the car up the track. So 1.7 to the 9 up ahead, 2.6 to the 14 up ahead. I have to take a look at the line and see if those gaps changed at all. Did overshoot 3 and 4 again. Gained a 10th on the 14, but lost a 10th to the 9, so 2.6 and 1.8. So keep an eye on that, see what I can do. I would imagine the 9 could potentially pull away right now if he's running the high line pretty hard, but like I said, I wouldn't be surprised to see me start closing up the last 15 to 20 laps if I'm able to do a better job of saving tires. I don't think the tires are going to be in good shape this run between the spin and then me missing 3 and 4 twice, but we'll take a look at them afterwards, see how they look. 15.6 to the 2 is the leader, so just going to keep an eye on whoever's the leader and what that gap is and see how my pace would compare to them. If I can maintain it, definitely won't be in any danger of going a lap down, although when I do that kind of thing, that's going to cost me some time. That was what I was talking about, getting on the throttle too hard too early with wheel in the car. It's real easy to lose it off the corner, especially for somebody like me who's just not as skilled of a driver. Got some smoke, looks like the 5's in pit road. 9 might have gotten the wall in turn 4, but he's still pulling away. He is closing up on the 14 though, so I feel like overall I'm catching the 14 but losing the 5, which is fine. Like I said, if he continues to run that high line, I have a bit of confidence that I should be able to get him back later on. Oh, just goal's gonna be to try to keep the car going in the right direction, keep my pace, and see if I can get any spots. Consistent laps right now is the big goal. Along with not overdriving the car into the corners. I can see both the 14 and the 9 are running high, so the longer they do that, the more it'll help me with tires. Can't tell if the 14 has any damage or not.
The driver in front of us is Streeter.
14's running about 2 lanes off of the wall. 9's committed to running the wall. So I think I would have an advantage over both of them, but we'll have to see. It looks like I'm catching both of them, but that could have easily been because of them battling side by side for a lap or two. So I feel like I'm definitely catching the 14. Whether or not I'm catching the 9 is a different story, but plenty of time left. You can see one car losing it. That is the 16. He was already lapped down, so no position gained out of that, and quite a long way to the 15 up in 12th. So don't think I'd be able to finish that gap out or close that gap down through the rest of the run without any sort of problems up ahead, but just gonna do what I can. It's been keeping consistent with the leaders at least, so like I said, it makes me happy to feel like I had the pace to contend up in the front and just had some bad luck that possibly could have been self-induced. certainly I'm closing in on the 9 as well, so feel like I've got the pace for both of them, and we're not even to halfway yet, so I don't see why a 13th place finish isn't out of the realm of possibility. That'll still probably lose me iRating, but won't be as bad.
P15. That lap time was.
I moved the brake bias back a little bit as we were almost halfway through. Trying to do a better job of making use of that throughout the race to take advantage of it. Gonna go over to session last lap. Try to watch that to maintain consistency. So I feel like I can keep a pace, even pace, and not overdrive the car, continue to save tires. Leaders might be closing in a 10th or 2 in the last couple of laps, but overall pretty even. So for me, even with it being a strength of or weaker strength of field, it's feels like a bit of progress. Get a little bit too low there on the apron, kind of started the car rotating a little bit too much. See, we're definitely closing in on the 15. Don't know if it's going to be enough to get to him before the end of the run, but my gap's come down from 7 seconds down to 5 seconds, so not sure if he had any problems there, or if that's actually all on pace. 9's pulling back away again. Maybe he knows how to make that eye line work and save tires. I don't know how he's going to be able to, but we'll just have to see. But certainly catching the 14. Don't even need to look at the relative to see that. You can see visually how much we've got him. Trying to back up the corners just a little bit as the tires wear out, roll it through the center a little bit longer, right, just a little bit longer to pick up the throttle, not overheat the right front, lean on it too much. Kind of overshoot 1 and 2 there. Gotta be careful when I overshoot it, not to dive down too hard, because that can cause me to have a little too much wheel into it and then end up actually snapping it off of the corner. 9's really caught the 15, so the 15's really got to have some problems. I don't know if he got into the wall and has some damage or what, because he is falling quickly. Stay to the inside, watch out for the 14 who's going to be on the high side. He gets the run off of the corner, but with the way I'm catching him, it's possible that I could get him in the next lap or so. Maybe if I'm lucky, I can get him out of turn 2 this time. Got some smoke up ahead, got to watch out. That was the 5 who was a lap down. Able to navigate by him without any problems. Able to get by the 14 as well off of turn 2. So it'll move me up into 14th. Try to set my sights on the 15 now, since he was having so many problems and falling back. 12 is in 11th. He's about 7 seconds, so that gap's kind of maintained from where it was. So maybe might have a shot at 12th now, whereas before I thought it was 13th, but just got to keep driving. 14 loses it off of turn 2, has to chase it down the track. I move the brake bias back just a little bit. Gonna be completing lap 22 this time by, gonna have 13 more to go. Slowly working our way towards the finish. 0.9 at the line to the 15, so going to keep an eye on that. 9 still about 2 seconds ahead. I'm hoping that he's really trashing the tires in the last 10 laps or so. I can make a big dent in that gap, but we'll have to see. Looks like we're catching the 12 as well, but that gap's just so big. I'm going to need a big problem or something out of the 12 to be able to have a shot at that one. 9 looks like he might have had an issue coming out of turn 4, couldn't tell. But 2.1 to him, 0.6 to the 15, so definitely catching the 15. They're both running the high side. Would imagine that's why I'm catching both of them, is how much that high side's wearing out the tires. Not really catching the 9 as much as I'm catching the 15, but just gonna do what I can, dig as much as I can, try to get whatever positions I can get. Don't think I'll be able to clear the 15 off of turn 4, but certainly gonna watch for that. He kind of comes down off the wall a little bit further than I expected. Good thing I didn't go up as high as I planned. Gonna hope that I can get him off of turn 2 like I was able to get the 14 a few laps ago.
Keep it steady. Clear high.
Still gonna take it easy though, not push to try to get by him because it's not worth abusing the tires yet. Still have just gonna be getting 10 laps to go this time by. Lost a little bit of time to the 9 trying to get by the 15, but not a big deal. Able to set the sights on him now. I feel like overall I've done a decent job of trying to maintain control off of the corners. Just had that issue at the beginning of the race with the 9, so probably should have just stayed low, let him run, let him push it, and known that with him running the high side I could have reeled it back in, but I don't know. I didn't think he was quite there, and I wasn't ready to just give that up that much. He easily could have looked low on me any time going into the corners, and I would have given it to him then, but he was fully committed to the high side, so chose not to. 1.8. Slowly catching him, not sure if there's going to be enough time. Only got 9 laps left. So going to need a big gain. It's going to take about a lap or so to try to get by him once I get to him. Pulling away from the 15 behind, 14 as well, no real pressure. Gap to the leader in the 1 has stayed pretty consistent as well, so I guess I should feel happy that I've got the pace in this split at least to run with the leaders. May not be able to run with the absolute top guys in the series as a whole, but in this one been able to run with them. 1.5 at the line to the 9. Overshoot the corner there a little bit. Probably make the brake bias adjustment the last one in the next lap or so. Oh, just got to keep it off the wall doing that. It's going to kill the momentum down the straightaway. Real lucky not to get an instant point out of that, but cannot be dragging the wall at all. That's going to kill the run and any chance of catching the 9. I need to be dead perfect to get to him. Move the brake bias back all the way now. 1.4 at the line, 1.7, 1.8 to the 15 and the 14, so no pressure from behind. It's all about focusing out front to try to catch the 9. You can see the time difference there this lap from not dragging the wall compared to the last lap when I did drag the wall. Should help me get a little bit of a better run on the 9. I think he might be in the wall, but can't tell if he's just dragging it and if it's helping him or if it slowed him down. It looks like it slowed him down quite a bit because we're able to chop the gap in about half, and I overshot turn 3 and 4 there, so I didn't even pick up as much time as I could have. But he's definitely committed to that high side, so he's gonna ride die by it. Just certainly trying to do the best I can to drive it off and see if I can get him. Again, no shot at getting to the 12 or the 18 up ahead without them having some sort of problem, but just going to keep digging after the 9, try to put myself in the position to get there. I kind of picked up the throttle a little too early, over-rotated on 4, but able to keep going. He's pulling away this lap. Gap's at about 0.5. We've got 5 to go. Going to need to probably get there in the next 2 or 3 laps to be able to have enough time to set up the pass and then try to pull away. Wouldn't be surprised if the wreck was his fault to start if he didn't try to do the same thing again if I get by him, but just gonna forget about that, do what I can. Just focus on driving my line at this point. Trying to maintain control of the car. Certainly gonna get the run, but we definitely close up on him that time. Gap's down to about 0.4, so gonna need to do that. Probably the next 2 laps and even think about picking 2 tenths up a lap rather than just 1. Get a little loose there off of turn 2, sliding around. He's sliding around off of turn 2 as well, so we're both trying to hang on to it. Both battling each other hard, even though we're not side by side yet. Certainly leaning on the right front a little bit more now. It's time to use what I've got left on the tires and push the car. Not really able to pick up enough there, only 1/10. Got 3 to go. If I can keep the car from sliding out on the corners, I think I've got a better shot at making a little bit more of a gap. Just got to try to drive it as best as I can. Feel like I drove it a lot better that time off of turn 2, and you can see the difference of how much we picked up. Probably dove it in a little too early there. Needed to arc it just a little bit better to avoid pinching it through the corner.
Hold your line.
He's going to get the run on the high side,
Clear the top. Clear outside.
but we definitely have closed up on him.
Your last lap time was that?
Car outside.
Hopefully he's not going to try to pinch me down. Would assume that would be his move. We'll see. Able to clear him. He'll get the run off the corner, but hopefully I should be far enough to stay in front of him. Gonna watch him go to the high side. I'm gonna go back to the bottom. Hopefully be able to start pulling away from him now in 3 and 4. Be getting the white flag this time by. No real pressure from behind from him pulling away, so just all about executing the lap now, not losing it off the corner. It's going to be most important to bring it home in 12th. If I can bring it home in 12th, certainly not where I wanted to finish, but I tried to do the best I could to dig deep, try to recover from it, and just run the best race that I could overall. I feel like I did a much better job this time compared to other races of not losing it off the corner, so this will be what I show you guys. Not going to probably run another run the rest of the week. Got some other racing that I want to get into some non-racing things to do, but gonna roll around here, try to bring it down. Looks like the 3 was able to get by and grab the win from the 1. Yeah, I feel like I had decent pace to compete with the leaders there. Look at the tires. 81, 84, not terrible, especially considering I overdrove a few corners, had the slide, and was, you know, trying to catch the 9 there at the end. Let's go take a look at what happened there, see if, you know, that really was on me for sliding up in front of him, or if that was, you know, a bit on him as well. Again, easily could have avoided that issue, but, you know, not much I really could do there. Alright, so we're going to bring this down a little bit. Get rid of that. Alright, so you're going to see him. He catches me every time off of the corner, and then rather than trying to take advantage of the draft down the straightaway and go low, he just commits to the high side. I guess he was nice enough to lift, which was thankful, but he was committed to the high side all the way. I mean, if I was him, I would have been looking to the low side to get by me, but that's just me personally. So it'll be this time by, you'll see the issue. So you can see he's definitely getting a run. I kind of overshot the corner, didn't get down quite as much. No, I'm not going to take fault for that one. I mean, again, I recognize he's getting the run, and I probably should not have come up this far. I should have just kept it down, you know, a lane off of the wall, let him go by on the high side. But you can see I was still technically clear of him at this point. It's not like I came across his nose, and he had every chance to lift or cut down earlier or do something. So I'm not really going to take fault. And then the issue was, on top of that, I already was in it, and he just gives me an extra shove there, which I don't know if that was intentional. I think he might have just stayed in the throttle, and that, you know, with me slowing down so much from getting in the wall, that, you know, that allowed him to hit me again. But let's watch it from his side. I think the other thing, too, you're going to see is he ends up coming down off the wall. So it's kind of a combination of me coming up to my line, but then he's coming down off the wall as well. Yeah, you can see the car starts coming way off the wall, so he's even coming lower than I would have expected. I mean, he straightens out by this point, but he certainly comes down off the wall a little bit, which is, I mean, that's kind of how that line's run. But then, again, here's the spot where he easily should have been lifting and just riding behind, or trying to cut it down harder earlier in the exit of the corner. So feel free to leave your feedback. Again, I should have been aware of the runs he was getting, the fact that he was catching me. Should have been cognizant of the fact that him running the high side was going to burn up tires. Probably should have just given that spot up. Let's take a look and see at this point. I mean, it's somewhat of a decent gap back to the 4 cars back there, but I also felt like I couldn't afford to give up too much and not run the risk of losing it too much. So frustrating that happens, but not much I can really do there. I think he actually ends up. Let's see what happens here. Looks like he ends up getting problems as well. So there's the contact with me. Sends me down. He's slow. About to be 3 wide. He's going to go into the corner. Running a line he had. Almost cuts down on the 16 there. 16 has to bail out on it. He just pushes straight up into the 19 then, and they go spinning off of turn 4, and then the 16 goes low to avoid it. He clips the 16. 16 gets sent to the outside wall. So, yeah, that kind of leads me to believe of the quality of driver there / talent level. So don't like to rip on people, but my opinion, 2 mistakes there, all in the same lap that were both attainable or attributable to him. So feel free to leave your comments. Let me know. Obviously, again, I should have been a little bit more aware and probably not slid back up, but I feel like he could have done a better job of lifting and avoiding me or cutting it down and running to the inside of me. So maybe I'll take like 20% of the blame, but the large majority of it's not going to go to me, in my opinion. So take a look at the results, see how bad the damage is. Hopefully it's not too bad of a loss on both iRating and safety rating. Yeah, pretty weak strength to fail. 1 out of 4, 2478 overall, so weaker than me. Yeah, managed to lose 21 in iRating, so unfortunately down under 26 again. Just feel like I'm kind of bouncing back and around with that. Hopefully I can start to put some cleaner runs in, start to get some better finishes, and try to drive a little bit better and clean that one up. But able to gain 0.07 on the safety rating, so over 2.55, or at 2.55, slowly trying to climb back to the 4.0 goal to get back to A and get to a license where safety rating doesn't matter as much. I'm just trying to, I'm not, like, safety rating's not my end-all be-all, but I'm certainly trying to run as clean as I possibly can. I want to be known for being a clean driver that races people hard, but races them with respect and cleanly, so that's why I keep mentioning it right now and trying to get as many incident-free races as I can while still running as competitively as I can. You can see based on fast laps, looks like it was pretty consistent with the leaders. I don't think you're going to see the absolute fastest lap times out of those guys because that was going to burn tires up if you did that. But certainly did what I could. So frustrating to have that happen so early on, but tried to do my best to recover from it and grind something out of it. And if nothing else, just minimize the damage to the iRating side of it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Again, feel free to leave your analysis on the incident between the 9 and I. Just love to hear from you guys in general. If you've got tips for what you've done this week that it's worked, or if there was anything you picked up from it, feel free to let me know. Love hearing from you guys. Again, always appreciate all the support and everybody following me. And until the next one, hopefully all your laps are fast, your races are clean, and your finishes are good. Thanks for watching.